Bryan Fischer here for Sports Illustrated. Thrilled to be joined at Big 12 Media Days by Utah head coach Kyle Whittingham. And Kyle, fun times. Does it feel like football is finally back once you get here at Big 12 Media Days?
Yeah, it's getting close. Media Days typically signifies that football's right around the corner, and so here we are, and we're about 20 days out from our players reporting, and so it's close.
How excited were you just to kind of put the past behind you in terms of last season?
Very excited. Frustrating year last year. Wasn't who we are typically, and so our guys are eager to get back out there this year and hopefully show what we can do.
I mean, was that your most frustrating season?
Absolutely. I've been at Utah for a lot of years, and as the head coach, for certain, that was the most frustrating season, and just good to get it behind us.
I mean, it was an off-season change for you. Obviously, a new coordinator, a lot of new change in terms of some of the personnel as well. What gets you fired up about going into fall camp?
Yeah, we got some things going for us. We're good up front, and particularly on the offensive side, we feel like we've got a really good offensive line, perhaps the best since my time at Utah, which we've had some good ones. So that's a pretty bold statement. New quarterback this year, new coordinator, as you mentioned, new offensive scheme, obviously. Defense should be solid. We've been solid on defense for a lot of years. So we have some things going for us, but you got to go out and do it on the field, obviously.
I mean, you've had first-round offensive linemen before. You mentioned those guys. How much does Spencer and Caleb, do they look the part as well?
They do. They're the anchors of the offense. They play those edges, the right and left tackle spots, both projected in the first round. And the three kids inside of them are pretty darn good football players as well. We got three seniors that at the guard spots and then the center spots. So we feel like it's, as I mentioned, an offensive line that should be very formidable.
You got a spring practice with your new quarterback in terms of Devin Dampier. What did you see from him, and ultimately, how much do you kind of see the offense taking off with him?
Yeah, Devin is dynamic. He's a guy that is truly a dual-threat quarterback. Rushed for over 1,000 yards last year, threw for over 2,500 yards. They tell me there's only 4 or 5 quarterbacks in NCAA history that have done that. So he brings a whole new dimension to the offense, and he's an exciting player. And he's a great leader. That's probably the most, the best asset that he has right now, in addition to his playing, is his ability to be a leader for us. Does
that surprise you at all in terms of a transfer kind of taking the reins like that?
Yes and no. If that is going to happen, it's typically going to be at the quarterback position. And Devin's the clear-cut guy right now. He's number one guy, and the players have really taken to him. He wasn't on campus but for a few weeks and got voted on the leadership council, which speaks volumes about what our players think about him.
In terms of the defense, obviously replacing some pieces up front, how confident are you in terms of just developing some more defensive linemen like you have been the last couple of years?
We're confident. We seem to reload every year up front on defense, and we feel like this year is no different. We've got some really good young players, as well as a couple veterans that have been with us for a while, but we should be, as I mentioned, very strong on the line of scrimmage on both sides.
You mentioned some of those veterans, especially on the back seven. Who's stepping up in terms of maybe taking one of those leadership roles and taking your group to the next level?
Well, Lander Barton, our linebacker that has been with us for, I think this is the 4th year now, is a tremendous player, a tremendous leader. Teo Johnson, our free safety, who's a really talented kid, has been an excellent leader for us as well. Nate Ritchie back there in the secondary. Logan Fano, Spencer's brother, plays defensive end for us, has stepped into a leadership role as well. So we have no shortage of leadership on the football team in general.
Do you feel like you're back to being one of those teams that can contend for the conference crown again?
We'll find out. We thought we were there last year, and then of course by the end of the season we were on our 5th quarterback. So it was a little bit challenging, but we feel that we can compete. And last year I think the Big 12 was, Arizona State was picked last in the league, something like that, ended up winning it. So anything can happen, and that's indicative of college football. With the turnover you have because of the transfer portal, most teams in the country have 50% of their players are brand new every year. So a lot of changing of the guard, I guess you can say, happens and will continue to happen in college football.
How difficult has that kind of changed your preparation going into the season compared to when you started as a head coach?
Well, fortunately, the NCAA has allowed a little more hands-on with your players, some walkthrough opportunities, and some chances to spend more time with them, and more quality time, on the field, walking through things, and which has helped the players tremendously, and in particular, the transfers, because those guys have not had the opportunity to soak in our system for a few years. They just got here, and so it really allows them to catch up.
I mean, we're now a week into the revenue share era. Does it feel a different time for you in college football?
Not really, and it'll change again. I mean, the rules change seemingly weekly, and so as soon as you get used to one thing, it changes to another, and so we'll see how it goes and how the new arrangement plays out.
Are you skeptical? I sense some skepticism.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. I just don't know. It's going to be tough to implement and monitor and do the things that we hope to do, but we'll see how it goes.
Is it strange at all for you, though, knowing there's a number attached to your team right now?
Yes and no. There's a lot of teams in the country that number will mean nothing. They'll exceed that number, by, double or triple, and so I'm not sure that's going to level the playing field in the final analysis.
How difficult is those conversations with your players, though, in terms of, hey, that's now a topic of conversation? It wasn't, hey, here's your education, here's also a number attached to that in the recruiting process?
Yeah, well, that's been in place for several years now. What are we, 3 or 4 years in NIL, and so that's nothing new to them. But it's a different world. I mean, we went from not being able to give the kid a piece of pizza or a ride to his dorm room to $1 million contracts, and so it's been a complete 180 in college football.
Has that changed the players at all that you've noticed coming into the program?
Tough to say across the board, across the nation, I should say. In our program, we feel like we've got really good kids, high character kids. Hasn't seemed to have affected the locker room at all, or very little, if anything. But we feel like we've got a group of guys that are still guys that love football and want to win, and of course the money's important, and it should be. But I don't believe it's foremost in their minds.
A lot of talk coming into Big 12 Media Days about the college football playoff and the future of that. As somebody who's seen a lot of change throughout the sport, what would you like to see in terms of the postseason structure?
Well, going to 16 is absolutely the right move, in my opinion, and I think as Commissioner Yormark has proposed, the 5+11 is probably the model that suits us best in the Big 12.
He also talked a little bit about parity across the conference. I think we all see that.
Yep.
You were part of the Pac-12 when that was definitely a talking point as well. Do you worry at all in terms of that parity almost costing the Big 12 a little bit?
With a 16-team format, I don't think it'll be as impactful, obviously, with more access. But when it was 4, it was very impactful. And so that probably has been diminished a little bit. But it'll still have an impact. But I think you're going to see some of that in the other conferences as well, not just the Big 12.
What do you know about the Big 12 now that you maybe didn't 12, 18 months ago?
Not much. Nothing took us by surprise. It wasn't like we were shocked or caught off guard by anything that occurred. The travel's a little different. Every trip is about 50% further than in the Pac-12, which is not a big deal, but that's something that you got to plan for and change your schedule a little bit for. But I don't think there's anything that you could say was dramatically different from Pac-12 to Big 12.
I mean, does it change your approach at all in terms of week in and week out? Because it seems like every game is basically a coin flip right now, depending on no matter what the records are that are next to the program.
Yeah, exactly. And we went through some of that with the Pac-12, as you mentioned, where anybody can beat anybody on any given Saturday or whatever day you're playing. And so I don't think that it's much different than that.
What gets you fired up to still come to the office?
Oh, being around the players. They keep you young. I'm sitting here getting older and older, but they're the same age every year. So it doesn't feel like I'm aging because I'm still around the same group of young kids, and I shouldn't call them kids, young men, and just love to watch their development. Love to watch them achieve academically. That's the most rewarding part of my job, is to see a kid come in that maybe doesn't have a real appreciation for education and leave 3 or 4 years later with a degree in his hand and a future. That's what it's all about.
I mean, your age gets brought up quite a bit.
Yeah,
I mean, how much annoying is that for you every year in terms of the retirement?
You know what? It's part of the deal, and I probably brought some of it upon myself, in the past, saying, hey, I'm not getting any younger, and so it doesn't bother me, but it does seem to be more of a topic than it probably should be.
I was talking with Kirk Ferentz, the only guy who's been around longer than you, and he said he's almost fired up more now than he was 4 or 5 years ago. Are you the same?
I can relate to that. And as soon as I get up in the morning and don't want to go to work, that's when I'll know it's time to turn it over to somebody else.
Are you able at all, though, to relax a little bit more in the off season, or is it still as chaotic as ever?
As chaotic as ever, and maybe even more so. The off season has gotten much shorter. I mean, as far as June is a huge recruiting month now. We had 50 some odd official visits in the month of June, and so that used to be a month where you'd run a few camps and hang out with your players in the weight room and stuff, and a little more casual. But now it's very intense, and it might be the most intense month of the year with everything that's going on.
If we had to make you czar of college football, what changes would you kind of bring about?
Oh, I got a lot of changes. I won't get into it, but it's not done changing yet. I can tell you right now. This is just what we're in right now is an intermediary step, and things are heading to, in my opinion, a super league, super conferences, and more of a NFL minor league model than what we got right now.
Well, interesting times, no matter what
No doubt.
level of coaching
Yeah.
you're on. Kyle, thank you so much for joining
You
us here
bet.
at Big 12
Thank
Media
you.
Days.
Appreciate it.